Well, as you know, at the November newsletter, we focused on our Chardonnay. And so this month, I thought we could spend some time talking about our Syrah. And we happen to be selling right now a 2007 Syrah. And as you know, Syrah was one of the first vineyards that we planted, and it's head pruned. We only have about an acre of it. So I'll give you a chance to taste that. It's been a while. What do you think?
Well, you know what's wonderful about this is because of the way your farming practices with your head pruning and you're really controlling your crop management, it just brings out so much structure in this fruit. And like I'm this person, I'm always saying when you're tasting wine with your nose, go with your first instinct, the first impression, the first thing you find. And in this one, it's like it's got such a pretty floral, like lavender on it, and it's just really nice, and it's got some dark, rich fruit on it. And the thing that I like about this wine is it's not overpowering. It's not a real heavy wine, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's a lower alcohol wine, great for food, great for enjoyment without getting a big wine buzz. But
yeah,
it's just beautiful. The other thing that's nice about this wine is it's got that, again, we always talk about this with your wines, it's got that old world French earth thing going on. A little bit. Now, I wouldn't say, you'd never drink this wine and say, ooh, wow, acid. But compared to a lot of New World style Syrahs, it's got a little bit more acid, a little bit more brightness to it that kind of lends to the structure of the wine. Great for food.
So tell me, what do you think? There's a lot of Syrahs down here in Temecula, and a lot of Syrahs on the market generally. And one of the things you always hear about Syrahs is, the pepper and berry taste and that sort of thing. How would you compare the Woodworth Syrah to that kind of comments that you always generally get about Temecula Syrahs?
Okay, so here's the thing we always want to talk about, that I think is so exciting about your vineyards and your winery, is that you guys are in a different microclimate. And that's what makes your wine special. You are a little bit, it's not cool up there. I mean, you guys, it gets hot. But compared to down here, and compared to Paso Robles and other areas where Syrah is really king, it's a little bit cooler. So your fruit is a little bit, it hangs on the vine a little bit longer. It doesn't ripen quite as quickly, so there's a little bit more structure going on, which brings that kind of French earthiness. It's pulling more out of the earth. And because it doesn't ripen so fast, you can harvest it while there's still a lot of structure, but not tons of fruit. And that's why you're getting that French earthiness to it that I love.
Oh, okay. Generally speaking, most Australian Syrahs are called Shiraz.
Shiraz, right?
And
or Shiraz.
Or Shiraz, yes.
From.
And in California, it's sort of a marketing thing, whether or not you call it Syrah or Shiraz.
Absolutely.
Isn't that true?
Totally, yeah. Because what happened was the Australians, I don't know that I've seen an Australian wine called a Syrah. Have you?
No, I haven't.
It'd be interesting to look and see. But in California, you get both.
Yeah.
Typically, a Shiraz in California is going to be more like the Australian, which is the big fruit. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that they're just very fruit forward.
Right.
Classic New World style, which is a very enjoyable style, but it's different. The Syrah is more the old world style, which is more about the earth.
Okay. Well, given our 2007 Syrah here that's in front of you, normally you think of Syrahs with something like barbecue or ribs or something like that.
Right.
What do you think of pairing with the Woodworth Syrah with the earthiness versus the fruit forward characteristics?
See, that's they're both of them will work with sort of the same like genre of food. Bigger, bolder flavors. I think the difference is this wine works better with more of an herby, smoky, not so much spicy. Spicy's okay. Right. But spicy, if it's too spicy, it could overpower this wine. Whereas an Australian Shiraz has so much pepper and so much spice that it can compete. Or not compete, but hold up against it. This wine, like a grilled rack of lamb, still both of them love it, but I would do like an herb crusted with maybe a demi-glace, but maybe not a real peppery demi-glace.
Got it.
Maybe not as much fruit. Like they'd put a lot of cherry fruit in a demi-glace for an Australian one. Whereas a French one, you might do more of an herb crusted with mustard or something. And that's, I think, the big difference. So it's just kind of tweaking it based on the wine. Let the wine dictate to you what you're going to do with the food, is what I say.
Well, the interesting thing about our Syrah is it is always the last thing we pick every year. Everything else, the Pinot comes due and the Chardonnay first, and then the Merlot. And at the very tail end, the Syrah, we're always waiting for it to get the bricks up. And they always seem to have a little bit of a fog or a cool snap there in September that slows everything down. So it's always the last off the vine.
Yep, that's we talked about that earlier. The thing that I love about that is that what makes this wine special is that it's not for a red wine, it's not a high alcohol wine. It's like a little over 13% actually, which is why you can enjoy more of it. You can drink it more. You don't get that same, it's first of all, alcohol, too much alcohol, one of the things you look for when you're tasting wines blindly is a hotness in your mouth, and that's from too much alcohol. This doesn't have that at all, so it allows the fruit to come out. It allows the structure of the wine to come out. It's not being overpowered by the alcohol because of that lower bricks or sugar. Because sugar is what converts to alcohol.
Right.
So having that lower sugar, and what's cool about it is that the grapes are still maturing and evolving on the vine, but because it's cooler, the sugar slows down. So you get concentration. So you're getting more interesting things out of the fruit, the earth, the berries, some of the spices, some of the floral notes and stuff, those all come out, rather than just like when it's all that sugar just pushes the fruit forward. So, which is that New World style. So it's special, and this wine is something that I think everybody who comes into this store loves and drinks a lot of, because it's just a beautiful Syrah. So
there is quite a controversy between hang time, you hear that phrase, and also there are certain wine critics that love the big high alcohol reds,
right.
And then there's other wine critics that don't go for that. And you and I have talked about this before,
right.
And both of us are in agreement that we like the slightly lower alcohol wine because it goes better with food, and
you can enjoy it more.
And you can have a couple of glasses without feeling it.
Exactly. And the thing about the big high alcohol wines was that was the whole push for the whole New World. And no disrespect, but Robert Parker is all about the high alcohol, big fruit extracted wines. And people love Parker's reviews and they love his wines. I'm not myself a fan of his because of that. I don't like those big, overly alcoholic, overly fruit forward wines. I like French old world style wines. So that's the big thing. But everybody has a different taste preference.
Right.
And I think this wine it really does. It's got enough fruit that somebody who likes those big fruit wines is still going to enjoy this wine. But man, put this with a rack of lamb. I keep going back to rack of lamb because it's like the foregone conclusion for this. But any kind of grilled meat, medium weight grilled meat, just loves this wine.
Well, Patrick, I really appreciate you spending time with us again this month to talk about one of our wines. And next month, I guess what we'll do is we'll probably compare our 06 Black Dog with the not yet released 07 Black Dog.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Blends.
Oh, yes.
A recipe for wine.
Everybody loves Black Dog.
That's right.
So we look forward to seeing you then, and thanks again.
Cool.